All right, friends, shall we start off now? I'm sorry, friends. Today morning I couldn't start my class as normally I schedule at 6:30. Uh, Normally this kind of cancellation doesn't happen. Yesterday was an unavoidable situation. I was traveling to a place. I was supposed to be back by 9:30. 11:30 the work got over and I reached here at 2 o'clock. So it would have become too stressful for me to take my class afterwards. That's the reason I didn't announce the 6:30 class. But I will assure you, whatever is the time lost there, I will cover it up either by way of an extra class on some other day, and we will finish it off. Don't worry, I will not compromise on the deadline that we are having. We will go at par, and from now I'll make sure such contingencies also doesn't come across. Okay, shall we now start with today's session now? So what were we learning in the previous class, friends? We were learning dividend policy. Am I right? In this, did we learn dividend rate yesterday? Dividend yield, and we learned about dividend payout. Am I right? I'm not getting any chats. Just send me a hi in the chat box. I'm checking from my phone. Yeah, okay. So everybody is live. You're all able to see me, right? Perfect. Perfect, friends. So we learned about this. The formula for dividend rate was what? Dividend per share divided by what? Divided by the face value. Dividend yield was what? DPS divided by what? Current market price. And dividend payout is what? DPS divided by EPS. Alright. So from this we also learned one more thing, that retention ratio is equal to 100% minus what? Minus the payout ratio. I hope everybody is clear so far, friends. Right? Then we learned about the common sense approach. What did we learn over here? R being greater than KE, they will normally prefer a 0% payout. But if R is less than KE, they will prefer a 100% payout. Am I right? If R is equal to KE, it will be an indifference point. Am I right? Okay, so this is about the common sense approach that we learned. Then we learned about dividend theories. So here I told you whether the dividends are relevant or the dividends are irrelevant. You have mainly two people to learn over here. First one is what? Gordon, and the second one is Walter. On this side we have only one guy coming in. What is his name? Modigliani Miller. I believe this is the point where I stopped my classes yesterday, correct? Yes, perfect. So let me write down the next concept heading now. Gordon's model. Alright. Friends, we have already learned how do you value any asset. Can you tell me? Value of an asset is present value of future cash flows. Am I right? How do you value a bond? Value of a bond is also what? Is present value of future cash flows. So here in case of bond, what are the future cash flows that you have? You have coupon plus you have redemption value. Similarly, can I say value of a share is also present value of future cash flows? Now tell me, in case of share, what are the future cash flows? Okay, you say it is dividend plus dividend plus you're saying the selling price on expiry is the this thing, right? I will do one thing now. I'll come to the next page. We will think from two people's point of view. Investor point of view, company point of view. Investor will receive dividend from whom? From the company. Am I right? And suppose if the investor is selling the share, they will sell it to some other investor only. They are not selling it back to the company. I hope you are clear with that part. So they will sell the share to another investor. Okay. Whereas for the company is going to do what? They are going to pay dividend to the shareholder. Am I right? If this person is selling a share, this share will be bought by another investor. Yes or no? So can I say that is between these two investors? Is this a transaction coming between the investor and the company? The answer is no, because company has a concept called as going concern. What do you mean by the word going concern? Company will go on forever. So can I say, see, if there is investor 1 and similarly we are having, let us say, investor number 2, okay, if this fellow is selling the share for 100 rupees, investor 2 is doing what? Buying the share for 100 rupees. So this sell and buy from the overall company perspective becomes nullified, and in that case can I say that when you talk about value of a share is nothing but the present value of future dividends which they receive towards what? Towards perpetuity. Have you already learned the concept of perpetuity? Going concern means what? The company will go on forever. So here it will not be dividend plus selling price, it will be dividends received towards perpetuity. Okay, this is basically from the company perspective. All right, investor perspective, as you told, they will get dividend, they will get selling price also, but when they get selling price, some other investor is paying the selling price to them. Are you getting my point? Since we don't have a limited life for a share, can you write down this in your books, friends? Have you understood what I just now mentioned to you? Yes, can you write down this now in your books? Yes, if the dividends are taxable in the hands of the shareholder, we will only take dividends after tax. All the cash flows are always taken after tax only. I believe you're done. You just written down this. I'll give you this once again in the neat, right? Okay, please write down. Let Kathiravan finish it. I will give you this in writing neatly, okay, once again, because I think this might not be very clear to you. Okay, I would put it this way, okay. Value of a share as you told, it can be from two people's point of view. It can be from a shareholder's point of view. It can be from company's point of view. Okay. Shareholders' point of view is going to be what? Present value of dividend plus the sale value whenever they are planning to sell. But when you talk from company's point of view, it's going to be present value of dividends paid towards what, friends? Towards perpetuity. Okay. Can you write down this in your books now? Aparna, you want me to go back to the previous page? All right. Please write down. Abhi?
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, Abhi, you're audible. Tell me.
Sir, yeah, okay. From the investor's point of view, valuing of shares. First of all, declaration of dividend is not with investors. The time taken to be selling. Okay, I can tell as an investor, I am going to sell my share at the after 10 years. How can I assert after 10 years from now only, sir?
Abhi, your question should have come in case of a valuing of an asset also. See, your basic question I
Ah,
understood. For a bond, you have a limited fixed coupon every year is there, correct? So we know year one, year two, year three, I will get like this. But do
fixed
you
coupon is
know
every year and
exactly? But do you know that even companies follow a standard dividend policy? For example, if you talk about Microsoft, they don't pay dividends at all.
mm,
So investor will never expect a dividend. They will only expect appreciation in the share value.
yes, sir.
Infosys pays dividend. Okay. And if they pay
Mm,
suppose 10 rupee dividend last year, this year if they don't pay 10 rupee dividend, investors will
mm,
not be happy and the share prices will fall down. Alright. So they will pay dividend also over there.
mm,
Are you understanding
yes.
my point? So both the ways, what I'm trying to say is that
Mm.
dividends,
Dividend is okay.
yeah. You mean to say the maturity value, is it?
Dividend is okay, but
The maturity
yeah.
value, okay. Now for the maturity value also, normally we have an expectation, okay. Investor has an expectation. They will expect that I
Mm,
should get at least 20 percentage, all right. So long term trend, he will
mm,
predict this is going to be the share. If that expectation goes wrong, everything will go topsy turvy. Understood? That is why what we do is we use this
okay.
formula, that is present value of dividends paid towards perpetuity. That will anyways be right. Am I correct?
From company's perspective, it is okay. It
Yes.
is clear, sir. But
But investors' perspective, what
from
they
the
will do
investor's
is,
point of view, these are all.
yeah, investors' perspective, it's only a prediction. Okay, after 5 years, the price will be around 500. I will sell it at that time. It's an expectation.
Just
Bas- Basically,
it is a way of forecast or a projection.
yeah, for business valuation is done like that only. Zomato has got a valuation of $3.9 billion. It has been done based on projection only. Today, the
Yes,
company is
got
running
it.
at a
Thank you.
loss. Company is running at a huge loss, but the valuation is $3.9 billion. How? Future cash flows. Understood? Hmm?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, Abhi.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Abhi. Did you cancel yourself on your own? I can't cancel you. Okay. Ratna, capital appreciation is what is coming when you sell the share. See, for example, year 0, you buy the share for 100. Year 1, I get 10 rupee dividend. Year 2, I get 12 rupee dividend. Year 3, I sell the share for 130 rupees. So, ideally speaking, I am getting a 30 rupees capital appreciation over here. Am I right? This also is considered over here. Are you seeing from company's point of view why capital appreciation is not considered? Is that your doubt? Ratna, can you unmute yourself? It will be better. I am not able to understand what you are trying to say. Yes, Ratna.
Yeah, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
I was talking from investor point of view. Now, as in the example, same doubt, sir, 30 rupees which has gone up, even that value will be considered in the value of an asset, right?
Correct. So, investors' point of view, I am considering that the sale value will consider the value appreciation also.
Correct.
What?
But here we are saying, okay, from company point of view, it is perpetuity. The
Yeah,
value.
because company does not pay the sale value. Sale value is paid by some other investor. Correct.
Okay, okay,
Okay. Now I'll tell you this dividend will come from whom? This dividend will come from the company. Correct.
correct.
This sale value will come from whom? Will it come from the company? No. It
So
will
it will
come
come from
from
another investor.
another investor. Yes.
So the same share will have two values from both
No,
different points.
ideally, no. Ideally, how do I explain to you? Fine, I'll just tell you. I'll take a fresh page and explain this to you, okay? I'll put it like this. Maybe I'll show you. Both should be the same, okay? Present value from investor's point of view. Okay, let's take from investor's point of view. Year 0, this fellow has put 100. Year 1, he got 10. Year 2, he got, how much did I say here? 12. Okay. Year 3 is getting what? 130. Am I right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I will take from company's point of view. Year 0, they receive 100. Correct? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is not, we don't take the initial, we take the present value of future cash flows. Year 1, company pays 10. Year 2, company pays 12. Year 3 to infinity, company will pay some dividend. Am I right? Okay.
Okay.
Ideally, the present value of this dividend should turn out to be 130.
Okay.
And the value under both the scenario will become the same, and that is why this method is popular. And this method is what we call it as a Gordon's model. I was just coming to that. And this is a very famous formula. Everybody uses in the share market. Understood? So,
Okay.
when company says year 3 to perpetuity, whatever goes to perpetuity, present value when you take, theoretically it should be equal to the redemption value today at the end of year 3.
Okay. Understood,
Okay.
sir.
Alright? Thank you, Rana.
Thank you, sir.
If there's some other doubt, Deepak. Sale value at the end of third year must be equal to the present value of future dividends of perpetuity from the end of year 3. Yes, fourth year onwards basically. Deepak, what you said is right. Somebody else has also raised their hands. Ratna. Ratna,
That was by.
did you raise your hands by mistake, Ratna?
Yeah, sorry, sir. That
Okay.
I was trying to unmute, so God.
Okay, alright. Alright, friends, I believe you are all clear with this now. Have you written down this also in your books? Okay, I believe everybody is done with this part. Fine. Fine, friends. So if you are done with this, I'll go to the next part now. Okay, so we are done with the value of a share. So I'll write down over here. Okay, value of a share is present value of future cash flows. Okay, since company has a going concern concept, it has a going concern principle. Okay, it will go on forever. In bracket you can write down perpetuity. Hence, value of a share is present value of dividends towards what? Perpetuity. Now everyone tell me, what is the formula for perpetuity that we have learned? Is it cash flow divided by discount factor minus growth? Am I right? Now if you talk about this in the perspective of a share, value of a share will be equal to, what is the cash flow coming in case of a share? It is only dividend going towards perpetuity. So D1 divided by discount factor for equity holders perspective is what? KE minus G. So this is how the formula comes out. P0 is equal to D1 divided by KE minus G. Can you write down this in your books now, friends? Everybody should follow. It's very important. Alright. I'll now go to the next part, friends. So here we will now learn three things. Now we learned the formula. In this formula, we have the following sub-concepts to learn now. Okay. First one is D1. Second sub-concept is KE. Okay. And the third sub-concept is G. Alright. So let us start with the first one. Sub-concept 1, D1. Friends, we are having two terminologies, which is what you have to be very careful of. One is D0 and the other one is D1. Okay. D0 means dividend from the audited financial statements. So let us say, for example, now we have completed 2019-20. Am I right? 2019-20 dividend might be declared now in September. Assume today is September. Today they will declare the dividend. This dividend is D0. D1 means dividend expected for the next year. Friends, value of a share is what? It is the present value of future cash flow. So this is the future cash flow. We have to always focus on what? We have to focus on the future cash flow. Exam, maybe I'll draw a chart and show you correctly. Okay. Let us say this is 1st April 2020. This is 31st March 2021. Okay. Assume this is, I just put it over here, 30th September 2021. Assume today is September 30th 2021. Okay. Company has declared a dividend of 5 rupees. This 5 rupees is what we take it as D0, dividend today. Okay. But today I will know that the next date will be what? It will be, let us say, 30th September 2022 is what the next period we are talking about, correct? They will say today they have paid a dividend of 5 rupees. Normally the company has a growth of 10%. Okay. If today they have declared dividend of 5, company has a growth of 10% means what will be the expected dividend for 2022? It will be 5.5. How did I get this 5.5? 5 rupee plus 10%. This is what I call it as the expected dividend. Okay. And this expected dividend is what I call it as D1. So I would say D0 comes from where? It is there in the audited financial statements. D1 will not come in the audited financial statements. In the exam, they will create a lot of confusion for you. D0, they will use the following words: last paid dividend. Okay. If they use this, take it as D0. Sometimes they will use the word current dividend. Current dividend means dividend for the current year which will be paid in the next year. That is the meaning of this: dividend for the current year paid in the next year. Okay, that is first one, current dividend. They might also use the word expected dividend. That is again dividend expected for the next year. All right. Can you write down till here in your books now, friends? What if KE is equal to growth? Razik, I'll come to that part soon. Let me sort out the students' issue in the meanwhile. Any proxy here? Yes, Arjun, that's a drawback of the Gordon's model. Are you done with the first page?
Hello, sir.
Arjun?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Arjun, tell me.
My doubt was until unless a wind-up situation arises, book value per share is not considered, right? And that is
No.
also available to equity shareholders, right? Net
Correct.
asset available.
Correct. Book value is not considered because it's a historical cost, not relevant for decision making at all.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Alright. Thank you. That money was paid at the beginning when the company started. That's of no use. Okay. Next one. I think you're still drawing this. Let them finish writing. Anybody has used the attendance in this? I mean, can I go and mark attendance because there's something called as attendance that's coming in the batch. Yes, 1 minute. Yes, Varna? Varna, can you hear me? Sorry, Varna, I'm not able to hear you.
Sir, am I audible now?
Yes, Varna, you're audible now.
Sir, I had the same issue that you told now that someone is not able to get into the batch.
Okay.
And I small letter L instead of I for that batch code.
1 minute. So you're saying that that fellow has put a wrong batch code, is it?
Yeah, it's not I think that's small L.
It is small L, is it?
Yeah.
Thank you, Varna. Let me just call him and tell him that and see. Okay, but the error is coming, his student is already in the batch. Did you also get the same error?
No, sir. I had a wrong batch code or like that something.
Let me try. I'll tell him that and let him try doing like that also. Thank you, Varna. Thank you for
Okay, thank you,
informing.
sir.
Are you done writing this, friends? Hari, one student just gave a comment that the first letter, is it L or is it I? What have you put there? Small L. Okay, so did you try just okay? So L is the correct one. Okay, all right. Otherwise, that's fine. Everybody is attending from there only. Okay. Do one thing. Otherwise, today afternoon I'll sort it out. I'll call you again. Okay. Just remind me. Okay. Call me on this number. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Varna has already put L only over there, but that's not the issue. You want to see the previous slide? I didn't show you that. Okay. I'll explain that to you. See, I'll just write down here itself. Now it is 31/3/2021, right? Okay. Suppose this is 31/3/2022. Okay. Dividend for this year is 5.5, which is paid in the next year. Correct? Dividend for this year is 5, which is paid over here. Okay. So this is what we call it as current dividend, or dividend for the current year, which is actually paid in the next year. Raghavendra, are you clear with what I tried to, yeah, understood? Okay. I believe you're all done with this part, friends. Can I go to the next one now? Okay. Now the next thing is you can write down subconcept number 2, KE. Okay. We already know what is KE. KE is equity holders expectation. Alright. So friends, this equity holders expectation, this is found using the CAPM formula. Now CAPM formula I normally teach in the portfolio management chapter. I'll give you the formula here. RF plus beta equity into RM minus RF. This is the formula for CAPM. Can you write down this in your books now, friends? I don't know, I'm not good at this technical stuff. We have to take hold of Abhilash to sort all this up. My core area is teaching. Rest everything he handles. There are 2 batches. There will be one option of joining the batch. Hold on, John, previous page. I believe this was done. CAPM, I'll tell you the full form, Harsh. Wait. There are 2 batches and there will be one option of joining the batch. I think he's trying to join again. In that case, it will show he's already in the batch. Ask him to enter the file. Okay, so basically trying to say that he must be joining the wrong batch, is it? Just try telling him that. Is there a different batch code for the... Oh God, is that the issue? Wait. Yes. I do remember there's a different batch code for... Anybody has that batch code with you? How do I search? Hari, wait. There is another batch code for this one. Okay. There's a separate batch code for the live paid batch. I mean, earlier it was a demo class, right? I think you joined the demo class right now from some other name. Did you do that? Wait. So I'll just share with you the batch code for the other one. Okay. All right. Okay, it's SFM Live July 21. Is it? Okay. Alright, thank you so much, friends. I've shared it with him. Let him check that and get back. I believe you're done with this. Can I go to the next one now? CAPM, the full form is Capital Asset Pricing Model. Capital Asset Pricing Model. What is this? I'll teach you when I take portfolio management. Can I go to the next part now, friends? Yes, friends, you are right. Hari is here. I'll just give him permission so he can start attending the class. He is in, friends. Thank you so much. Last 5 days he missed the class because of this technical issue. Alright, everybody is done with this. I'm going to the next subconcept now. Subconcept number 3. Subconcept number 3 is what? Growth. Alright, to explain this concept of growth, I want 3 people from this class. The first fellow should be a spendthrift fellow. Second fellow should be an average person, little spending. Third one should be a miser. Can you recommend some people from this class, friends? Whether they are your friends or not, don't bother. Take some random names and tell me. Tell me a guy who's a spendthrift, who spends a lot of money here. Come on. Hashir. Hashir is a spendthrift guy. Now tell me one average guy. Spends little money, does not spend, Ratna. Ratna is an average person. Now tell me a miser in this class. Come on. Darshana herself is saying I am average. Is it? You have to recommend your friends. Rumeza, Harsh. Harsh is himself recommending I am miser. Then I will not change that. Okay. Harsh is a miser. Now let us assume all the 3 of them are having 1 lakh rupees with them. All the 3 of them put this money in FD. For time being, let me assume that the FD is giving you 10% interest. So now tell me how much interest will you get over there? 10,000? 10,000? And the last one is also what? 10,000. Okay. Once you get this 10,000 interest, Hashir, what is the nature of Hashir? Spendthrift. The moment he gets this 10,000 rupees, what will Hashir do? What will he do, friends? Come on. He will do party, spend all the money. He will spend this full 10,000 rupees. So now tell me, friends, what is going to be the closing balance of Hashir? 0. Deepak, it's not 0, yeah. The opening FD balance is still there. It is not 0. It will be how much? It will be 1 lakh. Now tell me, Ratna, what is the nature of Ratna, friends? Ratna's nature is average. What she will do the moment she got 10,000, 5,000 she will spend on shopping. Balance 5,000 she will save it with her. Now tell me what will be her closing balance? 1 lakh 5,000. What about in case of Harsh? Harsh, what is the nature of Harsh? Miser. He got the money. His friends are telling Harsh, one treat here. Where I never got any money. He will not spend even a single penny. So what is the closing balance that Harsh will get over here? 1 lakh 10,000. Alright. Friends, if you see, for Hashir, who is a spendthrift guy, last year he got 1 lakh. This year also he got 1 lakh. So can I say his growth is 0%? Whereas Ratna, last year she had 1 lakh balance. This year she is having 1 lakh 5,000 balance. Am I right? So can I say she is having a 5% growth rate? Harsh, last year was 1 lakh. This year is 1 lakh 10,000. So can I say he is having a 10% growth rate over here? Friends, this growth rate can be found out using a formula. Retention ratio multiplied by rate of return. I'll show you this in the next page now. Okay. Particulars. I will write down what is the retention ratio. I will write down what is the rate of return. And I will write down what is going to be the growth. Okay. So for particulars, let us say we are having 3 people over here. Who is the first one? Hashir. How much money he retained with him? 0%. Full money spent. Rate of return is, my example is how much? 10%. So do you get the answer as 0% here? Who is the second one? Ratna. Ratna has a retention ratio of how much? 50%. She saved 50%, spent 50%. Rate of return is how much? 10. 5. Who is the last one? Harsh. How much money did he retain? 100%. Rate of return 10%. Growth turns out to be how much? 10%. So friends, come on, from this entire story, tell me what is the moral of the story? Who is better? Hashir is better, Ratna is better, or Harsh is better? You should be like whom? Less dividend, more growth. Friends, this keeps one simple rule. Whenever I make profit, I have to, Ratna is like, be like me, is it? Spend half, save half. See, the rule is very simple what they say here. As a company, I will make profit. With this profit, I have 2 options. Distribute, reinvest. If I distribute the profit, my growth will come down. If I reinvest, I will keep growing more. So can I say, higher the retention, higher will be the growth, and lower the retention, lower will be the growth. Alright, friends, if you talk about this in practice, all the rich people, Amazon, okay, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, these companies pay 0 dividend. But do you think because they pay 0 dividend, they get less money back? No, they still get huge money back. Why? Because they are reinvesting the money back and they're growing their company to a completely different level. Alright, so in this, the conclusion I would say is, be like Harsh. When you make profits, don't distribute. Use only how much is required for your expenditure. Balance full money you put back, that will make you very, very rich. Can you write down this in your books now? Rumeza is asking, what about shareholders' satisfaction? A very good question, Rumeza. Amazon doesn't pay dividends. How are the shareholders satisfied? Prices go up like crazy. Capital appreciation happens over there. Can you draw this chart in your books now? Yeah, Hari, you got access? No, just refresh the app on the main page only. On the top, the class will be happening. Okay? Alright? Perfect. So I think there's a net issue that by the time it will be sorted out. Okay? Thank you. Darshana, in case of private company also there are valuations. It's just the problem is that you don't see the price in the open market. That is the only issue. But private companies are also valued. There are merchant bankers which value the private companies. I have myself valued the private company many times. That is my main area of my profession. Okay, as a practicing CA, taxation and GST is something what, even though I know I don't practice much in that, my hardcore practice comes in business valuation and system implementation, which is something what you learn in SEMPE. I have done a lot of valuations. People are putting money like crazy into startup private companies. Crazy money. One company was having a profit of only 5 lakhs. Company, when I did the whole valuation with the future cash flows what they gave, the valuation was 180 crore. They got 20% stake sold at 36 crore. Now that's something very big for a company having a profit of only 5 lakhs. Why? Because it's a future cash flows. Are you done writing this, friends? Can I go to the next page now? Okay, you're still writing. Let them finish writing this. Can I go to the next one now? Okay. All right. So we are done with this concept of growth also and KE also. All right. So I told you P0 is equal to what? D1 divided by KE minus G. You can write down now subconcept number 4. Subconcept number 4. Formula for D1. I didn't take this earlier. Formula for D1. Okay. When you say formula for D1, friends, normally they use a formula. Exam point of view, I'll give you two answers. Okay. If D1 is directly given, sometimes what they will do, they'll directly give you D1. In that case, you don't need to use any formula itself. Whatever they have given will be the right answer. But if in the question paper, they have given you D0, then the formula would be D1 is equal to D0 into 1 plus growth. For example, if D0 is 5 rupees, my growth is 10 percentage, my D1 will turn out to be how much? 5.5. Can you write down this also in your books now? Perfect. So we are done with what is the formula for D1. Retention ratio, etc. is all sorted out, correct? Okay, so we are done with Gordon's model in that case. The next concept what you should write down in your books is the Walters model. Okay. As per Walters model, the formula is P0 is equal to D by KE plus E minus D, okay, into R divided by KE whole divided by KE. Okay. For example, let us assume the earnings is turning out to be, I'll give some numbers here, earnings which is termed as E is, let us say, turning out to be 10 rupees. D is the dividend. Let us assume the dividend is 6 rupees, okay, and E minus D is what? The retention money. How much is going to be the retention money over here? It will be 4 rupees, correct? Now R is, let us say, the rate of return is, let us say, 20%. KE, investors' expectation is how much? 10%. So the formula over here would be 6 divided by 10% is the KE plus 4 rupees is remaining into 20% divided by 10% whole divided by 10%. This is the area which becomes very tricky. So this I'll get the answer as 60. That will be 0.8880. So my total valuation becomes 140 rupees. Okay. Can you write down this and think what is the formula? What is the logic of the formula? After which I will tell you the logic of the formula. Friends, are you done with this? Can anybody tell me what is the logic of this formula? Just raise your hands and can you tell me? Okay. Yes, Deepak.
AMD, sir.
Good evening, Deepak. Good morning, Deepak. Tell me.
Yeah, the first part of the equation, 6 by 10%, it belongs to the dividend that we are going to get for perpetuity.
Okay, so this is present value of
Yeah,
dividend towards perpetuity. Okay.
perpetuity. The second part is for that retention amount, that 4 rupees. This
Okay.
year we are going to get 4 rupees. So that on that 20 percentage, it will get increased by year and year.
Okay.
So that will be for perpetuity. For this year's 4 rupees will get increased by 20% for perpetuity.
Okay.
So we are discount. So the as per the formula we have to divide it by k for perpetuity.
Okay. Okay.
Now this next year also we are going to earn the same amount. So
Okay.
for that whatever present value of this year's, that amount present value we will earn for again and again, repeat it again and again for next year. So that we have to divide again by perpetuity. So two times perpetuity.
Excellent, Deepak. I'm giving you a big applause here. Great work. You told it perfectly. Okay. Great work, Deepak. Thank you so much. Friends, did you understand what he said? He has actually answered it so clearly. I will do one thing. I will draw a chart and I will show it to you. That was really perfect the way he said it. I'll draw a table here. Year. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll keep it like this. Okay. What is the total earnings that the company is having? 10. Am I right? From this 10, how much are they giving as dividend? 6 is paid as dividend. Am I right? So this 6 will go towards perpetuity. Am I right? So this goes towards perpetuity, but we are not considering growth over here. Somebody asked earlier, we are doing it without growth. So the present value of this entire 6 today, it will turn out to be how much? It will turn out to be 60. Okay. Now comes the tricky part. Dividend is this much. What is the money retained in the company? First year, 10 minus 6, 4 rupee will be reinvested. Second year, you will have 4 plus 4. Yes or no? Last year's 4 will be there. Plus this year's 4 again will come in. Am I right? Third year it will be 4 plus 4 plus 4. Then it will be 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. It will go on like this. I'm not going to drag too much. I'll keep it like this. This 4, what they get in the first year, they will invest at how much percentage? 20 percentage. So how much money will I get over here? 0.8. Next year I will get 0.8 for the first one and 0.8 for the second one also I will get. Third time I will get 0.8 here plus 0.8 over here plus 0.8 over here. After that I'll get 0.8 plus 0.8 plus 0.8 and it will go on like this forever. Am I right? So now what happens is I will use a different coloring. I'll use blue. So can I say this entire thing which is going towards perpetuity? Am I right? The present value of this will be 0.8 divided by 10 percentage. So I'll get the answer as 8. Similarly, this flow of cash flow, this will also go towards perpetuity. Of that, the present value is how much again over here? 8. This is also going towards perpetuity. Of that, it is how much? 8. This is also going towards perpetuity. That is also again what? 8. Now you see, 8 is going towards perpetuity. Am I right? So if 8 is going towards perpetuity, I will take this 8, 8, 8, 8 going towards perpetuity. The present value of that will be 8 divided by 10%, which is equal to 80. So if you add up these two numbers, you get the answer as 140. Or in simple terms, can I say this is present value of dividend? Correct. This is the present value of retained earnings. Whatever money is retained earnings is there, which they are reinvesting. Can you draw this chart in your books to get the logic of this one, friends? Are you done writing this, friends? Then I'll explain the doubt what Darshana is having. Harsh, I will repeat that part once again. If you're done writing, I will tell you that. Okay? I'll again show you this so that all the doubts are sorted out. Done? Okay, see, now I'll come to this. What is the earnings that we are having in a year? Earnings is turning out to be 10 rupees. Okay, now out of this 10, can I say 6 rupees is what is turning out to be the dividend? Okay. Balance 4 is what? It is the retained money. Okay. This retained money I am investing at how much percentage? I am investing at 20%. Am I right? So once you invest at 20%, how much extra money you make over there? 0.8. Correct? This 0.8 is the extra profit. Okay. So now first let me clarify Darshana's doubt. This 0.8 actually has got two parts. This company is having a 60% payout ratio, right? If 10 rupees is the earnings, 6 is the dividend, I can say they have a 60% payout ratio. So ideally, the 0.8 will have two parts. One is 0.48, which is actually dividends, and 0.32, okay, which is retention. Understood? But what happens is the company starts making extra cash flow every year of how much? 0.8. So ideally, Darshana, your doubt was, are they paying the same dividend every year? No. They are paying 6 in the first year. They will be paying 6.48 in the second year. But this 0.48, I don't show it in the table over here. Instead of showing here, I am showing that over here. That is the only difference. Darshana, are you clear with that part now? Okay. Now, Harsh, your doubt is that now 0.8 is coming every year. Am I right? So can I say that this 0.8 is going towards perpetuity? So the present value of this entire thing turns out to be how much? 8. So the stream of cash flows of this 0.8, 0.8, 0.8, 0.8 forever is going to be 8. Similarly, the stream of cash flows for the second one is again going to be 8. Now your doubt is, why am I taking 8, 8, 8 and present value? Harsh, if you have the doubt, you do it like this. First year 0.8, second year 1.6, take the total, third year 2.4. Fourth year is going to be how much? It will be, I think, 3.2. Fifth year is going to be 4. Like this, it is going on forever. Am I right? So if this is going on forever, for this also I should take a present value at how much percentage? I should do it at 10%, correct? So when you do it like this, which is going forever at 10%, in Excel sheet also, if you go and try doing it, you will get the answer as exactly what? You will get the answer as 80 over here. So that 80, instead of doing it this way, I am showing you in the other manner. That's all. Okay. So instead of doing it directly as 80, what I did, I took first 0.8 cash flow as 8, second 0.8 cash flow as 8, third 0.8 as 8. Then the whole present value will also be what? It will turn out to be 80 rupees only. Are you now clear with this part, friends? All right. Do you want to write down this in your books? It might create some more confusion. Don't write down. Just put in your books like this. Okay. As per Walter's model, value of a share is present value of future cash flows. Okay. So now here, what are the future cash flows? The future cash flows are having two parts. Okay. One, present value of dividends, and the second one is what? Present value of retained money which has got reinvested. Can you draw this chart in your books now? Yes, it's present value of retained money for the first stream of cash flows. See, year 1 when you put this 4, okay, maybe I'll show you like this. I'll draw it here and show you again if that is where you're getting confused. Year 1, I invest 4. From this 4, I will get 0.8 in the first year, 0.8 in the second year, 0.8 in the third year. Like this, I'll get this forever. The present value of the investment for the first year is 8. Year 2, again what I will do, I will again invest 4, correct? This again will give me another stream of 0.8, 0.8 going forever. For the year 2 present value, you get 8 again. So year 1 value 8, year 2 you get 8, year 3 you get 8, year 4 you get 8. The entire present value today will turn out to be how much? It will turn out to be 80 rupees. In this part you will have to recheck the recordings once again, friends, so you get 100% clarity on this. Okay. Fine, friends. Can I go to the next part now? Are you done with this part? Okay. Now you write down the next concept heading in your books. Practical application of Gordon's model. Okay, friends, what is the formula as per Gordon's model? P0 is equal to what? D1 divided by KE minus G. Now let me tell you, friends, practically how we will do this. Okay, let us take a real life example to explain this. Shall I take money control? I'll take the markets. Tell me a name of any share that you like. Name of any company that you like. How is today's news, friends? Just read, spend 2 minutes daily reading this news, okay? If I get time, I will discuss these news in the class also. Okay, Windlass Biotech is going for an IPO. IPOs are good time to make money, friends. In fact, Zomato IPO happened, you know, in the Paytm app. Absolutely new and refreshing. Repco Home. Now let's take some company that we know. If you take all these names, you might get confused. Tell me a company's name that you know. Infosys. I think we spoke about Infosys earlier, right? Okay, we'll take Infosys. Infi. What is the price as of now in the share market? 1,609. So many of you were asking me this question. Should I buy the share or should I not buy the share? It is 1610 is the share price. The market is open now, so the prices are fluctuating. 1610. Okay, so I'll just put it over here. All right. Infosys market price is equal to 1610. All right. I will now decide. Our decision, what we have to take is whether I should buy the share or whether I should sell the share. All right. For this purpose, one of the models that I can use is which model? I can use the Gordon's model. All right. So when I say I'm using the Gordon's model, in the Gordon's model, we have to find out many things about Infosys. So what I will do, I will take Infosys share. Okay. I will go to the statistics. I think everything is given below. Open price, close price, beta is also given over here. Okay, that's 0.65 is the beta. Face value is given, PE ratio is given, sector PE ratio is given, book value per share, dividend yield is given as 1.68% as of now. Okay, market capitalization etc. is given. Okay, so what I will do is now Infosys, I will find out the price, theoretical price using Gordon's model. Theoretical price using Gordon's model. So how I do the theoretical price using Gordon's model is that P0 is equal to D1 divided by KE minus G. So first thing what I have to do, I have to find out D1. Have I not told you D1 is nothing but D0 into 1 plus G? Am I right? And we have to now take D0. Here they have given a dividend yield. What is the dividend yield that is given over here? 1.68 percentage. So can I come back over here? What is the price we got? 1610. So ideally, wait here, it will be here. Okay. D0 will be 1610 into, what is the yield told over here? 1.68%. I'll round it off to 2% for time being. Okay. 1610 into 2%. Do I get the answer as 32.20 rupees per share? Okay. So I told you value of Infosys is nothing but it is going to be the present value of future dividend towards perpetuity. Now I have to find out the growth. Correct? What is the formula for growth that we use? It is going to be retention ratio into rate of return. Okay. So when you talk about the retention ratio, they must have given the payout ratio somewhere over here. Have they given the payout ratio? It is not given here. It must be somewhere inside. MC Technicals, price and volume, forum research, financials. Let us take the financials. Ratios. Dividend per share is given over here 27 for March 2021, 17.5, etc. This is not enough. I need more detailed financial ratios. EPS, this PBIT, PBIT margin, liquidity ratios, dividend payout ratio. Can you see here? Okay. This company has paid payout of 84%, 54%, 44%, etc. I can take a simple average. For time being, I will assume that the payout ratio is turning out to be how much over here? 50% for time being. Alright. And the retention ratio is also shown over here. Earnings retention, sorry, we need the dividend retention ratio. So I am assuming for time being that the payout ratio is turning out to be 50%. Okay. Therefore, what will happen to the retention ratio? Retention ratio will also turn out to be how much percentage? 50%. When you talk about rate of return is nothing but ROE. What is the formula for ROE? PAT divided by equity plus reserve. Am I right? So I think ROE must be directly given over here in these ratios. Hold on, where did the ratios go? We are on a per share ratios, liquidity ratios. Where will the ROE come? It will come in the return ratios, right? Return on net worth or return on equity. They have an ROE of 25% over here. So I would say this turns out to be 25%. Okay, fine, 25%. So now from this information, can I say growth will be equal to 50% retention ratio into 25% payout ratio? 50 into 25%. Do I get the answer as 12.5% over here? Okay, so you get the growth as 12.5%. Once you get the growth as 12.5%, I have got the D0 as 32.2. Therefore, I can find out D1 plus 12.5%. Okay, so 32.2 plus 12.5%. I'll get the answer as 36.225 rupees. This will become my D1. Are you getting my point? I got D1. I got the growth also. I have to now find out what? KE. KE, what is the formula I told you? RF plus beta into RM minus RF. RF is what? Risk free. Friends, what is the FD rate today that you get in the bank? Let's Google and check. Is it 5%? Alright, let us take it as, oh, they want me to open an account in Bajaj FinServ. I don't want that, friends. Let us take it as 5%. I will take RF as 5%. Beta, what is beta? I will teach you very soon. For time being, let us go and check the beta. How much was the beta in the main page? How do I go to the main page here? This is so confusing. It was 0.65, correct? Into RM. RM means market. In the share market, here which are the markets available? BSE is there, NSE is there. I'll come to the main page again so I can show you that clearly. Okay, I'll click on the markets. So when you talk about the market, I can take any of these markets. Ideally, I should take the market inside which Infosys is coming. So I think Nifty 50 is the one under which you have Infosys. Just cross check. How do I know which are the shares coming under Nifty? I think there are around 50 shares coming under Nifty. Stock piling up. I think it is Nifty 50 itself. For time being, I will take this. So for Nifty 50, if I check the overview, we have all the details over here about the company's returns, how the returns are flowing over here. Let's check the chart. It's here. Technicals are there. News, contribution, forum, Nifty 50 performance. I'll do one thing. I'll just Google here Nifty 50 return. We can actually do it in a different manner that I'll teach you in portfolio management also. This is how the returns are coming for the last 20 years. We are talking about 2021. Am I right? Overall, the returns are coming to around 14% for the market if you talk about 2020. Alright. So this is the latest returns. We are expecting the same return for 2021 also. Alright. 14%. So I will take the RM as 14%. So if RM turns out to be 14%, minus RF is how much? 5%. If I do like this, I'll get the answer as I'll get the KE as how much? 10.85%. Oh, we are in a deadlock. The growth is greater than KE. So we wouldn't be able to work out using this formula. So I wish I could have done that, or maybe I'll take a little higher return for time being just to explain to you what I'm trying to do. Let me take the return as 20%. Okay, for time being, I'll assume that Nifty returns, if I see the entire period from 2000, it might be even more. So just for the purpose of explaining to you, I will take over here 20%. Okay. Gordon's model doesn't work when you know your KE is less than growth. It works only when the KE is more than growth. Assume it is 20%. So it will be 15 into 0.65 plus 5. So I'll get the return as 14.75%. Okay. So once I get this, I will write down P0 is equal to, how much was my D1? D1 was 36.225 divided by KE. How much is the KE that I got over here? 14.75% minus growth is how much? 12.5%. Alright. So it will be 36.225 divided by 2.25. I will get the answer as 1610. Oh my god, I got exactly the same answer. Isn't this the price of the share? Oh, how can I arrive at exactly the same number? Friends, what to do now? I'll just change the Nifty return a little bit more. Oh god, I deleted the entire sheet. Wait, I'll just rework this, friends. I'll just rework this. So we got growth as 12.5. Okay. So my D1 was how much? D1 was 32.2. 32.2 plus 12.5%, correct? So that would turn out to be, oh, the time is also 9:30. I will pack up soon, friends. Give me just some time. 36.225. And I think KE for time being, I'm assuming we can do it as I told you, RF plus beta into RM minus RF. Okay. So RF I took it as 5%, beta was 0.65. Let us take the RM as 19%. Okay, for time being. So what is the answer? I'll get 19 minus 5 into 0.65 plus 5. I'll get the answer as 14.10%. Okay, fine. This looks to be sensible. So the price P0 will be equal to D1. D1 is 36.225 divided by 14.1% minus 12.5% growth. So what's the answer you get over there? 1.6. I'll get the answer as 2,264 rupees. This should be the price of Infosys, provided the numbers I have taken is right. Okay. So now I'll write down over here What is the theoretical price that we have? 2200 something, correct? 2264. What is the actual price that you get over here? 1610. The price should be 2200. Today it is only 1610. So what is the status of this? This is undervalued, and since it is undervalued, what are you supposed to do? Buy the share. Friends, this is practically how Gordon's model is applied. This Infosys, unfortunately, the KE was less than the growth. In that case, Gordon's model does not work. That's a drawback of the Gordon's model. Unfortunately, I took that number. I wish the KE would have been more. We could have actually found out what is the decision to be taken. Okay. And this is something, friends, which none of the classes will teach you. They will only give you the formula. This is what you do in real life. Can you write down this in your books now? Sorry, friends, I overstepped the time. It's 9:35. I will pack up in 5 minutes. Okay. Just write down this, then I'll pack up. I'm also taking a subscription in Zerodha. I've not used that app very much, but I want to take that because in that I can show you how we can buy share, sell share. If you people are interested, we'll invest some money and see whether we are making profits or we are making losses also. First page, John, I didn't understand. You want to see the first page? You mean this one? Okay. So I believe everybody is done with this, friends. Shall we pack up? It's already late. It's 9:45 almost now. See you on Saturday morning, friends. We'll finish off with this thing. I'll give you the notes for practical application. Try this for a few other shares and tell me some share where the KE is, greater than growth. So we'll be able to correctly correlate and do it and finish it off. All right. All right, friends. Let's pack up now. Thank you so much. There's a power failure also. Perfect. See you Saturday morning. Sorry for today. We started late and we are winding up also late. Saturday we'll start at sharp 6:30. Thank you so much, friends. Take care.